if servant ministry is only one to another. If we only love those whom we love, in other words, people who are in our lives, people who are friends, people who we go to church with, but we don't love humanity as a whole, then what is our distinction? What makes us different than any other club or any other social society? The thing that separates Christians from the rest of the world is the fact that we love. We love as God loved, as God taught us to love, as God gave us the example of his love when he let his own son die on that cross and say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That has become the example of God's love that is demonstrated to us for us to live that out. And that's what he's talking about in Matthew chapter 5, verse number 46, where he talks about these things. When he talks about the love of man for humanity, for if we love them which love you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans or the sinners, the tax collectors, we behave no better than them. And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which in heaven is perfect, which simply means that we look beyond the faults, we look beyond the behaviors, and we see people that God loved and that Jesus Christ died on the cross for, and we reach out to them. 1 Timothy 1:5 or 1:15, the Apostle Paul said to young Timothy, said, Christ came into the world to save sinners. Christ came into the world to save sinners. And in that scripture, the Apostle Paul said, he whom was the chiefest of sinners. He said, I'm the worst. Because the nature of humanity is to be selfish. The nature of humanity is to want to hold on to our own, not to be generous, and not to be generous in our love and our acceptance and forgiveness. No, that's not our nature. Our nature is to be just the opposite of all of that. And that's why the Apostle Paul said he was the chiefest of all the sinners. But he said that Christ came into the world to save sinners. Romans chapter 5, verse 8, for God commendeth his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. The messages in the last few weeks have been about servant ministry, about God who's taught us to love the Father, love one another, and to commit our lives to reaching out to them and ministering to the lost and the undone. To do as Jesus did when he said he came to the world to save sinners. So this becomes the urgent message of the hour. Many, many people are going to perish. Many, many people are going to be lost when they die and go to hell. It's our job to reach down and pull them out of the fire. Scripture tells us that this is our mission, to bring the world to the light and the love of our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.